streaming platform before.
I have not. So like I don't even
That's
have StreamYard, but I know a lot of people like that I've been on their shows always send it to me. So I was looking
yeah.
for that. I didn't even know this was an option. So that's
Yeah,
good to
so
know.
it I was messing around because I've been talking to Matt Lyons like for a while, like, we wanted to figure out how do we go live because I like to talk football. Who's in the chat? Somebody's in the chat. Um so the idea is I asked, hey, let's come up with our own all Packer team, right? All-star
Right.
Packer
Yes.
team. And I think I told you that based off of, like, I don't know about you, but I was born in the '80s, so, I'm 43 years old, so I've lived through the Don Majkowski, Brett
Right.
Favre,
Right.
Aaron Rodgers era, so, you know, players that I've seen play is who I've added on to my all-Packer team, um, and then, but there are a couple players, one offense, one defense that I did pre my time
Okay.
that I
Okay.
c I can't say no, and it's partially because I got a couple of their autographs that I had to grab, and, uh,
Okay. I look
big
forward
big
to that.
yeah, big fans of theirs, so
And I was probably like the same way. I started off with a lot of modern players, and then just I like to do a lot of reading, like mostly during the summertime, and then
mhm.
just reading about some of those older Packers. I was like, I got to have some of those guys on. I mean, I think my team's gonna run the Lombardi sweep just over and over again. So I had to have a few of those guys in there just to make sure.
Well, I guarantee you they're on my list, and it took me, like, a few days to really think about it, that, like, uh, on my,
Oh, so you had a couple days head start before you sprung it on me, huh?
well, no, I mean, like, I I didn't write it down until today. I
Okay.
was, like, in my mind just thinking about it, like, "What am I gonna do?" And, figure out, how to handle this, so, um, but I think since, like, we got a person, 3 people in the chat right now or in the live stream right now, and,
Right.
I'm pretty sure more to show up. It is Sunday, it is football, I don't expect to have, like, 600 people here, but, um I do expect to talk some real football. So, let's talk about who.
Adam,
Uh,
how are you doing, man? Thanks for coming in.
hey, Adam, how are you guys? Thanks for coming in. We're about to talk about. We're going to talk about the game here shortly. But as we wait for people to come in, let's talk about our all Packer team. Let's talk about that, and let's start offense first. And I don't know if I told you to, but in your all-star Packer team, include a kicker and a punter, because that
Well, you know what? I kind of had some of that in the back of my head because you told me originally there was not a kicker or a punter in there, but
yeah.
some of the guys that I have definitely did some field goal kicking in their days. I'm not sure about punting for some of them. So, do you want me just to go through the whole offense
Let's go.
or position by position?
Let's do one position at a time. You tell
Okay.
me yours, and I'll tell you mine. So, since you're the guest, I'll kick you off. Let's kick off. Let's do kickers and punters right now. So, give me your kicker and punter that you feel that should make your all-star Packer team.
Well, you
That
know what? So I am adding it now. I am going with Ryan Longwell. I just think for a kicker, Long and Well is a perfect name to have. He was clutch. Now, I do have, and I'll say those for a little bit later. I have some guys in here from the 60s that filled up the score sheet just kicking extra points. So that will be there as well.
uh birthday shout out for my brother Dixon Maez. Happy birthday, Dixon.
Happy
Uh
birthday, man.
yeah, it's good. So my wife and I actually will have next Sunday is our wedding anniversary. So,
Oh,
uh,
nice. Congratulations.
yeah, so like the relief of beating the Chicago Bears, we still own the Bears. That's what I'm saying. We
We
still
do
own
we
them.
we do still, and I know you're an owner. Graham is an owner, so they're
Uh-huh.
out there, showing his certificate and everything. So
So my kicker. my kicker, and a lot of it has to do with connections. And prior to moving to Oregon, I lived in Colorado,
Okay.
and I lived in Littleton, Colorado, just outside of Denver. And the first college game we went to was the Colorado Buffaloes, and a this kicker's alma mater is Colorado Buffaloes, and that is Mason Crosby.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
Mason Crosby, he is leads the Packers in points scored.
Yes.
So he's number one. And the first game we watched, we saw Mason Crosby kick like a 55 yarder in Colorado Buffaloes in the snow. It was
Oh,
crazy.
really?
And yeah, both my kids were born in Colorado, so that's why we have such a strong connection to Colorado. So
Now
Crosby
let me
was,
ask you, do
yeah,
you one of my buddies, and it wasn't for all the years of Mason Crosby, but Greg Pace was the long snapper on one of those teams. I think just for 1 year.
1 year.
He's my buddy, and he was on that team.
Yeah, yeah. Adam, I made you as a moderator, so keep an eye on that chat for me. I appreciate it. You've been to a couple of these streams, so thank you for coming on. But yes, go Packers, Carlitos Villanueva. Go Pack, go.
100%. Yep. And
All right,
Adam is a
Hunter.
Bears fan, so we appreciate Adam being here,
Yeah, yeah. So
and
now,
we'll probably.
Adam, I didn't know you were a Bears fan, so I'm sorry that we blocked your field goal. Caleb Williams played a phenomenal game. We could not stop him. We could not stop the run. But Christian Watson with over 150 yards
Oh,
receiving today, that was
clutch. It was clutch.
clutch, clutch, clutch. I mean, yes, Jordan Love threw another interception, but he played smarter this game, much smarter
Mhm.
this game than the last few games. So, all right, who's your punter there, Teach?
I am going with Craig Hendrick. He went to Notre Dame, so that's what I'm rolling with. I gotta get those Notre Dame connections when I
Yeah,
can.
yeah. I was we had Corey Bojorquez 1 year, who
Okay.
was a phenomenal punter for us. Jamie Bidwell, a phenomenal
Okay.
punter, an
Right.
Oregon Duck alumni. But honestly, I'm going with Daniel Whelan. Daniel
Okay.
Whelan
He,
wins my punter, and the reason being is my son and I went to the playoff game last year against the 49ers, and we were walking, and my son and I actually had a full-on conversation with Daniel Whelan's family.
oh, really?
And yeah, they're Ireland. They're from Ireland. They're the history, and Whelan's just a good kick. And honestly, I think he ranks top 6 in the league in punt average. And look how many times he's got that ball down within the 10-yard line
Yes.
from.
Yes.
So huge, huge upside with Daniel Whelan. So Daniel Whelan is my punter. All right, let's go into let's you know what? We'll save the offense for last, but let's go defense. Because
Okay.
I think I sent you a message like let's do like a traditional 4-3. I think we're
Gotcha.
playing
Yep.
a 4-3 right now.
Yep.
And I know offensively, I said 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. We're asking for 12 bodies in the offense. We need a slot receiver. We need that receiver to go back and forth playing our offense. But let's go defense, and let's give me your defensive line. Give me your entire D line before I give you mine. And I
The
think this is going to be
entire line, I got to start off with Reggie White. As a kid, the acquisition of him was just huge. And, for a long time, no one even wanted to go to Green Bay, think of going to Green Bay. But I'm just so thankful that Reggie went to Green Bay. Gilbert Brown, I mean, he was a force. He kind of, had a little too much food, enjoyed himself a little bit too much, but he was an immovable object for quite a while there with the face shield. I always loved that. BJ Raji, he had a short career, but I will always remember his dance. And I think I told you before, I used to work Bears games, selling beer up and down the aisle. And that was
uh-huh.
the last game that I worked. And my buddies and I, we stayed after to watch the game. And all my buddies knew that I was a Packer fan. None of the fans that I was selling to for probably maybe say about 6 years knew that I was a Packer fan. And I had my work clothes off. I had my Packer sweatshirt on, and I went going up and down the aisle talking to people. I'm like, "We're going to the Super Bowl," and they're like, "We can't believe that you are a Bear fan." So I'll always be thankful. And then Willie Davis. Just whenever I listen to the old Packers, the guys on offense, defense talk about like Lombardi's Packers. Like he was a real leader out there, a real beast. So I had to include him on my defensive line.
Well, I know, and I knew you were gonna pick Reggie White, and so I kinda like, for the chat purposes, I didn't pick Reggie White because I knew we were gonna talk about him, but I
Mm.
will this may shock you. My defensive tackles are the exact same as yours.
Okay, nice.
The Gravedigger and the Freezer. Come on,
Hmm.
that's what they
Yep.
were, right? The Gravedigger and the Freezer, and I remember a long time ago when I first started watching your videos, I made a comment like BJ Raji, also known as the Freezer. I actually have a button of
Oh,
number
you do?
90, the Freezer. Yeah, because when I went to as a shareholder, I go to to 2011 when we won the Super Bowl. I went out there, and
Okay, right. I
my
went to the
wife
meeting. Yeah.
my wife is a huge fan of BJ Raji. She loves Raji,
Oh,
and yeah, she used to tell stories that, "Hey, BJ Raji and I are gonna go eat some fried chicken together." I'm like, "Go for it, babe. Do what you gotta
right.
do."
Yeah.
So, but BJ Raji and the Gravedigger Gilbert Brown. Because I knew you were gonna pick Reggie White, I have 2 players, here that, to me, he did not start his career as a Packer, but the few years he played as a Packer was a phenomenal one, and that's Julius Peppers.
Yep. Yeah.
Now,
He was solid.
he played more than a 3-4 outside linebacker, but we know he was 3 points on the ground, 2 feet and the hands in the dirt, and freaking
Hmm.
he can get back there. I love Julius Peppers. I actually graded one of his cards, when he first came onto the Packers, and I have that, like, in my case. But Julius Peppers, and the other one who I loved his play style was KGB, Kabir Kabaja-Biamila.
He was.
He was, I mean, do you remember the play in the playoffs against the Eagles that he was playing flu-like symptoms? He had
Yes,
the
I do.
flu,
I do.
and he sacked Michael Vick
Hmm.
with the flu. Do you remember that? I mean,
I do remember that. And when you see him, you would not think he's this big, strong, powerful guy. No, just kind of skinny, for a
yeah,
football player at that position. No, but he had speed, he was quick, he was powerful. And I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, dude, AGB was that, and then my honorable mention was, like, Aaron Campman,
I really
phenomenal
like
player.
Campman. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was hoping that, like, Lucas Van Ness will turn into the next, like, Campman and stuff like that, but we'll see. I mean, I think he might be a third-year wonder or whatnot, but we'll definitely see. Um, but yeah, let's go, linebackers, 3 linebackers, um, and, this may or may not surprise you, but go for it. Tell me what you got.
All right. I've got Ray Nitschke,
Yeah,
Clay Matthews,
yep,
and I really liked when they had him, Bryce Pop. And he had his best years with the Buffalo Bills, I know, but that defense really ran on all cylinders. I think it was Fritz Shermer was the coordinator then, and when they lost him, they never really got that same player back in anyone else. I feel like who did they got someone for the Eagles for a couple of years, I think, and just never was really the same. But
mhm.
I just wish he would have been a Packer for longer.
Yeah, Pop was I have some, like, old vintage cards,
Mhm.
that the Pop is in, and I always, like, loved his play style, but he didn't make my list, though. Like, I would say, like, you and I Ray Nitschke, my middle linebacker,
Mhm.
that I don't know if you could ever come across another, like, linebacker like Ray Nitschke. Like, you read up on him and the way he played, whew,
I
it
was
was
scared to keep him
crazy.
off the list. I mean, a guy like that. I
You're
mean,
turning
even
the shoulder.
today,
Is he watching me right now choosing, like, you're
exactly.
um, but I have Clay Matthews as well,
Mhm.
so and then my, other one is AJ Hawk. So, I
Yeah.
actually have this thing, AJ Hawk, like, uh, I like to, like, watch the combine every year.
Hmm.
And the first year, I really watched the combine, I watched AJ Hawk's, performance, and I'm like, "Green Bay is gonna pick him." I watch
Hmm.
watch what happens, and of course, that year, they picked him 5th overall,
Right.
and, just he was a solid player for us.
He was.
He
And even
gr
after the Super Bowl, like he came back on a smaller contract, didn't he? Just like a guy that wanted to be in Green Bay. Like it just says so much about his character, but also about the
Yeah.
traditions of the Packers that he wanted to do that. No, uh, really, AJ Hawk and Nick Barnett were two that I was kind of going back and forth on. And that's when I was
Mhm.
like, I like Bryce Pop, so I'm going to put him in there. So looks like
Yeah. Hey,
Justin joined us and
yep.
Titus are here as well. So thanks for coming in,
Hey,
guys.
thanks for coming in, guys. We're talking all things Packers right now, the only thing that really matters. I mean, with the exception, like, both, yesterday, Notre Dame won, what a
They
great
did.
performance, and my Oregon Ducks won, like, it was one of those, woo! It
That was a
was
close one.
it was, man, I don't it's crazy, but we're going into cornerbacks, and I think if I'm thinking right as a Packer fan, you and I might share the same ones. Well, unless you're going for somebody like old school for corners, but who do you got for cornerbacks there?
So I went with Charles Woodson and Tremont Williams. Now,
Boom,
Al got them both. All right, because Al
got him both.
Harris was on there, he was off there, but Charles Woodson was on in pen, blood, whatever you want to do. I had this in. It was one of those shirts you get for like $5, but it
Yeah.
was like the earth is 2/3 water. The rest is covered by Tremont Williams. Like I used to always like wearing that shirt. It was like the cheapest $5 shirt you ever found, but I just loved it, and he was a good player. So I'm glad
Oh
we're on the
man,
same page.
I'd see as Packer fans, we know who our legit corners
Mhm.
are because, like, Tramon Williams was a great coverage guy. He was like a glue stick, like he always stuck to his
Yep.
receiver. And then Charles Woodson, man, and there's nothing more but to think but rave about this guy. I was really stoked when he was signed with us as a free agent. I was like, "Holy cow, we signed
I
Charles
know.
Woodson," and it was a great feeling. All right, safeties. Tell me what you got for safeties there, bud.
So I have Leroy Butler and Nick Collins. Nick Collins had that short career, but I just, he was phenomenal. It was something with his spine, right, or his neck, I
It
think,
was
and
his neck. Yeah, his neck,
yeah,
it landed on it kinda wrong, and he was there for a
right.
little bit,
And it
but
was one of those situations where he was like almost kind of cleared the play, but the Packers were like, you know, don't do it. Like, go ahead and have a healthy life and take care of yourself. It was just like too much risk because he had a couple injuries, I think.
yep.
But man, he could play. He could play.
Oh my gosh, like, yes, yes. Cash and Dad Packbusters, we squeezed one by today. Absolutely, we squeezed one by. We just, oh man, it was great. But welcome to the chat, guys. Um,
Cass, how you doing?
so my safeties are the same as yours, Teach. We have
There
the
we go.
this
There we go.
secondary. Leroy Butler, obviously the original Lambeau leaper.
Yep.
You've seen the statue outside of Lambeau Field. You probably
Hmm.
just took a picture next to it.
Yep.
But the biggest feeling is when they knocked on that door to give him the Hall of Fame jacket. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. That was just remarkable. And Nick Collins, definitely, he would have been a lifelong Packer if he had not gotten injured.
Yep.
I think he was just a phenomenal athlete. Although, like, I'm a huge fan, huge fan of Evan Williams. Huge fan of how he
Yeah.
plays. Uh, Not just that he's a Duck, but just the fact that he was what, like a 5th or 6th round pick, and he's coming up here and he's unseating one of the starting safety
Right.
roles.
Right.
Ugh, I think that's solid,
A lot of
really,
good
really
young
solid.
players for the Packers. And I really, I mean, I don't have any current Packers on mine, but there's a lot of guys that are like just young and hungry and playing well. So this list could always be updated at some point.
Oh yeah, yeah. It changes all the time. So yeah, that's our defense. So we managed to think that our defense is pretty solid. I mean, I'd say a good 80% of it's about the exact same thing. So we know our Packers very
Yep.
well. All right, offensively, I'm interested to hear this because I'll tell you what, I got two of my players are legitimately first year players that made my list for offense. So
Okay.
I
All right.
I
I like that. I like it.
I'm interested to see what you got. I so you started off with defense. I'll kick things off with offense.
Okay.
I had the luxury, right, to watch Brett Favre play, Aaron Rodgers play, obviously Jordan Love playing. Obviously Jordan Love has not made my list yet since his second year, but I'm gonna have to give it to Aaron Rodgers. I'm a diehard Rodgers fan. The fact that he protects that ball well, and he's just a tough cookie. And we've managed to have three quarterbacks who are tough as nails.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
injured, come back out, wanting to play, passionate about the game. But Aaron Rodgers takes my helmet on this one. He is the man. So, what about you?
So I again, same thing. Could do any of them. Just reading about Bart Starr, that could easily be him. But I am going with Brett Favre. And growing up on the mean streets of the South Side of Chicago, being a Packer fan, like it was not friendly territory. But Brett Favre made my childhood so much easier with the Packers winning all those games. Like none of my friends, they would talk Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning at church, and by the time we got to school on Monday, like, well, the Packers won again. What do you guys got to say now? So I just have to put Favre on there for that reason alone.
Hey, say hello to Liam. Liam is here.
How you doing, bud?
Good. Good. Um, Wait, why are you guys so worried about the Packers? We all know the Hawks are going to win the bowl, Super Bowl or toilet bowl, one of the two.
Wait. Who did we start as tight end in our league? On our one with the card league.
Oh, I don't remember.
Because Taysom Hill put up 41 points.
Ooh, Taysom Hill put up 41
Taysom.
fantasy points today. Holy
Budget
cow.
Ribs, how you doing, buddy? Good to see
Budget
you.
Ribs, how's it going, bud?
Just remember, we chose either him to start.
I think it was Taysom Hill.
We didn't choose Taysom.
Oh, dang it. I didn't choose Taysom Hill. All right. So running backs. Okay. I sent you a message. We're going to pick two running backs, and this may surprise you.
Okay.
Amon Green, number one. I was diehard Amon Green fan, but what's up, Hot Box Breaks? How are you, bud? My other one is Aaron Jones was going to be up there, but prime Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy Prime was a bulldozer. Man, I was so frustrated with when he just got bigger, but he was to me man, I don't think we've ever had like a power back like that
Right.
in so long.
And I didn't even think about Eddie Lacy, but yeah, prime Eddie Lacy would have been a great pick. Um, Whoever was running that Buffalo Wild Wings in Green Bay, like the Packers should have went in there and said, "Don't serve Eddie Lacy. Like we will feed Eddie Lacy. Don't you make him anything." He'd walk out
Yeah,
with bags of food, and they were like, "Is that for your family?" No, no, it's for me. But
yeah,
Amon Green is on my list. I just
yep.
loved watching him play. Paul Horning was the other. I got the Golden Boy on mine. I just kind of like a character.
Yeah,
Guys, some of your characters on your team. If Lombardi could, keep him in check and everything like that, I think I'm gonna have Lombardi coach my team. In fact, probably. But yeah, just reading about him and just the aura around him, Notre Dame as well. I definitely had to go with them. And
yeah.
Justin, three good nerds. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, Justin, how are you, bud? Thanks for jumping on. We're talking all things Packers right now, and looking forward to. Now we select three wide receivers here. So, yes, Pastor Craig, Jim Taylor was amazing. He was actually one of my guys, but during the time that I've watched football, I didn't get a chance to watch him. So, all right, wide receivers. My three wide receivers, my all-time favorite wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers is gonna be Double D, Donald Driver. Donald Driver, just just an amazing attitude, amazing guy. He's my number one. My number two is Jordy Nelson. I with the likes of Jordy Nelson, the way he played the game in Super Bowl 45, being there, being consistent, very, very can't
Barry, how you
say,
doing,
but
bud?
that's two cool dudes right there. I appreciate it, Barry. So, and my third, my slot receiver, I was debating between Randall Cobb and Jaden Reed, but I chose Jaden Reed. I think
I like
Jaden
that.
Reed, I chose Jaden Reed just for the fact that, dude, that boy can ball. You know, the end around, getting the ball, can run it in for a touchdown, can freaking, uh, obviously catch. He caught some good balls today too. So yeah,
Christian Watson did.
Christian Watson just had a game. So
Yes, he
those are
did. I
my
mean, he was phenomenal. So I had a hard time with the wide receivers once again. I used most of the eraser on my pencil, and I had to include Don Hudson. Just
Mm-hmm.
the model wide receiver for back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling Sharp as well. Man, same thing. If he could have stayed healthy, I think he could be a Hall of Famer as is. I know it's like maybe a 6-year career, but I
yeah.
mean, he was just dominating everyone during that time. And for the slot, I would love to put Donald Driver in the slot because I had a hard time leaving Donald Driver off of my list. But he wasn't really a slot receiver, was. I mean,
No,
Donald could
no.
probably do anything,
Yeah, he
but
could.
Randall Cobb, I'll probably put him there. But the thing I would do is it drove me crazy when McCarthy would run him in motion like 3 or 4 plays in a row and never give him the ball. And then
Yeah.
the fifth time, let's give it to Randall where he's all gassed and can't get away from anybody.
Oh,
So I
oh,
would just use Randall properly.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad I'm glad two different like minds here with receivers because you obviously chose different receivers. I did. That just tells us that the Packers legitimately know how to draft receivers,
Oh, it's a long
and
list. Yes, it is.
it's a huge long list. And I think that's just amazing. Tight end, tight end, man. We've had Bubba Franks,
Yep.
Jermichael Finley. Yeah, I'd even throw Andrew Corliss up there too, right? Because
Yeah.
he did Richard Rodgers,
Mark
uh,
Chimura.
Mark Chimura. But man, I don't think I've been ever excited about a tight end than I have with Tucker Kraft. Man, the small town boy, uh, from, living in a town with, like, one
Mhm.
light to
Right.
going to South Dakota State and then coming in and playing the way he has.
Yep.
I've not seen a tight end in Green Bay, like, being able to, like I even wrote down in my notes, "What a freaking block by Tucker Kraft," you know? He can carry his own. I absolutely love this guy. One of my biggest goals this next year is to find me a decent auto of Tucker Kraft. Like,
Okay.
I actually sent a TTM of Tucker Kraft to Lambeau Field and hoped to get an auto of his.
If you get that one back, let me know and I'll start sending him as well. Because yeah, he when we went to training camp, I mean, he is a beast. He walks by and like he will block the sun, but all muscle.
Yeah.
And that's actually because I had a hard time with this one. I did go with Tucker Kraft, but I used to love Bubba Franks. Like if you
Hmm.
needed 1 or 2 yards, Bubba was your man. Bubba could get open anywhere. I don't want to say he was worthless, like in
Your
between the
red
five
zone threat.
yard lines, but
He was a
like
red zone
Bubba,
threat.
yeah, but he would find a way to get open. I also put on here like an honorable mention, Max McGee. I mean, his numbers in the Super Bowl and being hung over from the night before, not thinking he was gonna play. I mean, he was phenomenal, and I used to love him. I don't know, like if you would get the Packer radio broadcast at all, but him and Jim Irwin were outstanding on the radio because here in Chicago, Bears games would be on most days, and we would have to just either listen to the radio or drive to like Wisconsin around the border and then watch the game there. But he was awesome on the radio. He was just a pure homer, very knowledgeable about football and a joy to listen to. So
So,
I
Al-
got Kraft on there, but Max
yeah.
McGee honorable mention.
Alan, I have to correct you. It wasn't Richard Rodgers that pushed Jordy out of the way against Seattle. It was Brandon Bostic. So, Brandon
That's right. Yeah.
Bostic Brandon Bostic was the guy that tried to take over that. So, yeah, Pastor Craig, Mark Chirura was great. We're going to offensive line now. So my offensive line, I'll say I'll go from left tackle to right tackle.
Okay.
Left tackle, David Bakhtiari.
Yep.
He's a Colorado guy, Colorado Buffalo. I have a really good connection to Colorado. Both my kids were born there, like the Buffaloes. But I'm gonna go with David Bakhtiari. and keep his partner in crime, Elton Jenkins, as the left guard. I think Jenkins was a great steal for us in the second round,
Mhm.
and he held on pretty tight.
Yes.
My center, Frank Winters, Winters is a fun. I don't, dude. That dude was just tough as nails. As
He
they come.
was.
Um, my right guard, Jerry Kramer. Jerry Kramer is my right guard. I've actually saw some highlights of I as a coach, as not just a head coach, but I also coached the offensive line. I actually show videos of Jerry Kramer as he pulls and
Oh,
goes
really?
on the
Okay.
outside. So Jerry Kramer was like notorious in how to properly pull and
Mhm.
actually lay some people out for Bart Starr days.
And that
Um,
was the key for their whole sweep as well, being able to get down the line like that.
exactly. In my right tackle, the ever loving Mark Tauscher. I loved Mark Tauscher. He still lives in Green Bay, I think. I think he still lives there. And
He
uh,
does. I think he does some like radio work, like the post game or whatever. Yeah, he's. It was hard to leave him off of my list.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he was on there at one point, then he was off. All righty.
yeah,
So I'll go from left to right as well. Now,
sure.
I thought Jerry Kramer was a left guard. He was a right guard,
He's
or
a
would it
right guard,
matter?
yeah. Well, actually, he played
Okay.
both. He played
Okay.
both, but like how left guards are, they can play right guard too. It's just
Right.
flip
Yeah.
the
Right.
switch,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
but as I was reading, he played more right guard than he did left guard. So,
Okay. So for the purpose, I'm going to flip mine when I get to him here. So
okay, cool.
left tackle went with Chad Clifton, and again,
Yeah.
there were so many guys that were just solid and just kind of like he looked like he was a rock. Just he had that stoic look on his face all the time, like not a lot of emotion, but like when the play started, like he was just a beast.
Well, you
Fuzzy
you
thirst,
look at it as
but
like Chad Clifton was Brett Favre's blind side, and
right.
um,
And I've
eh,
got Favre here, and that
yeah,
also leads to my center as well. So
yep, yep. Keep going. Yeah,
So I've got Fuzzy Thurston as
yep.
the left guard, and
Mhm.
I just love that Packer sweep. I mean, to run, and Lombardi explained it like in great detail, but all the players were like, it was a simple play. We ran it over and over again. We executed it, and no one could stop it.
Right.
And I just love that mentality.
Yep.
I am going with Frank Winters at center. If Favre's going to be the quarterback, I want that
Hmm.
familiar tush in front of him there, and then Jerry Kramer for the right guard, and then Forrest Gregg as the right tackle.
Yeah, Greg was one of my options there too, but I just, like I said, I've watched a lot of like Favre days, a lot of Aaron Rodgers
Yep.
days, and Tasha was just like, another one of those players that got hurt but just came back out there and still played.
Yeah.
Uh, honorable mentions, like I said, I chose Aaron Rodgers, but like our center, Corey Linsley was just a phenomenal center for us.
Mhm.
Sucked to see him go to the Chargers, um, but yeah, Forrest Gregg was on my honorable mention. So was Chad Clifton. The combination of Chad Clifton and Mark Tauscher on the same line was just amazing. But yeah, I think we're like minds. We got a lot the same there. But we're gonna kick things off. I mean, what do you think? It was good team we got there, right? Good team we have going
I
on.
I I know it is a great team, like both of them are, and we've probably left off guys where we can make another secondary team and
Oh,
be just fine out there as well. Like it's a long history of great players
oh,
and
especially the receivers. I mean, there's just
Mhm.
so many good receivers, and Aaron Taylor at guard was tough.
Aaron
Yes,
Taylor, yep.
yep,
He was on mine as well. That Notre Dame connection. I wanted to put him on there as well.
yep, yep. Uh, Pastor Craig, I think Pastor Craig is a Packer fan too. I think I've seen he did a little bit of the 2 for 22, and
Okay.
I think he
I'll have to check it
showed
out.
Ray Nitsky a card that I was like in love with.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong there, Pastor Craig, but yeah. Speaking of which, with the 2 for 22, you jumped on board with the 2 for 22 again, um, which humbles my heart. I loved, one of the reasons why that got me, um, wanting to do the 2 for 22 is just to show recognition about this hobby that,
Mhm.
for me personally, like, we're gonna run right into it. Showing cards of our PC, brings back, great memories of, like, how enthusiastic it is to get a card, but it just reminds me, like, how grounded we can be, that potentially we
Right.
can be grounded with just the simple things in life, of just like a little card, but, I truly appreciate you, the second win doing this 2 for 22, and I have a lot of other, channels that are jumping on board, like, the Autograph Fisherman, John Burgess,
So John, yes, and
yeah,
it's just so important, like taking care of our veterans. And when I first heard that stat from you, like 22 a day, that just like blew my mind. And I
yeah,
did mine at Notre Dame yesterday, and like I held my cards
saw
out
that,
there. So people that've been like drinking all day long, they asked me like, "Well, what are you doing?" So I just explained to them, and like they were all just like silent, like mouths drop, like I can't believe like that's the stat. So just
yeah.
bringing awareness is so important.
My children, so I have 2 kids, I have a son in Liam, and I have a daughter, in Eden, who's gonna be 13 at the end of this month, but they know that dad has PTSD, and
Mhm.
they understand, and here at my house, I have, like, a safety sheet that when I get to that mode and I that all else just starts to cave in and it feels like
Mhm.
I'm, to be honest, I've had suicidal tendencies in the past, and when it gets too overwhelming, they have a safety sheet that says, "Hey, what are the steps we gotta do to help
Okay.
dad out?" And so I teach my kids like, "Hey, we have neighbors here. We have, mill workers. They're all veterans. Most of them are veterans, and you never know. You can't judge by
Right,
what
right,
you see on the outside because
right,
they can be fighting a battle on the inside." And
right,
so looking out for those symptoms or those ideas,
right.
and plus I wanted to teach my kids that I teach in, football. I coach football about PTSD too. I do it every year, and, but, like, that's my drive, working with these kids and being out there coaching them and teaching them the life skills about how important it is that we we adjust to society. When you see PTSD, you see
Right.
mental health, not just PTSD, but there's other things like TBIs and stuff like that. But um, yeah, it took me like I had to go into in residential treatment for 3 months to understand what PTSD was all about,
Okay.
and been through some. So it was a wake up call, that was for sure. But
And
I
that's got to be so important to like tell your family members what to do, but it's also got to be hard, I
yeah,
imagine, as well, just to be open and share with them. And I think I had mentioned, like maybe you were in there, and or I forget what it was, but someone on my 2 for 22 had mentioned that they lost their son, and they just had like no idea what he was going through. And
hmm,
I just didn't know how to respond at
yeah,
first. Just
yeah.
being
It's
aware.
hard. Uh, 4 years ago, I lost 4 of my brothers to PTSD, suicide, and it was like, man, the reality is, it's like, this is a disease that you can't see. So, um, but, they ask, "Well, why do you include cards into your 2 for 22?" I said, "Why not?" I mean, this is the cool thing. It's just 2 things that says, "We care."
Right,
Uh, you
right.
know, um, it's just to get the message out. And Pastor Craig was right. Many, many great players were vets or had parents, uncles, etc., who are vets. And I can remember one of the channels, Rob Cash Cards,
Yes.
who's
Mhm.
one of the family members had died to suicide, and he jumped on board. But there's many, many channels that had take part in this. So, which leads me to uh, I asked, "Hey, can you show some top 10 cards that you have of your PC?" And um, I would love to see what you got there, bud, and mine. So I'm gonna flip my thing around to show what we got going on. Let's see. You want me to show you mine first? And
Yeah, go ahead with yours. I thought I had my uh tripod here. I don't. I just show mine front,
oh,
but go
that's
ahead.
fine.
Yeah, go and show yours
That's
first.
fine. So the no particular order teach. It's just
Mhm.
all. It's all. You know. grab what I can, but one of my favorites is we talked about BJ Raji. Uh,
Oh, wow.
look, I mean,
Boston College. Oh, that's great.
Boston College on card, uh, right there, and it's 4 of 7. But BJ Raji was just an amazing guy and
He was.
amazing athlete. But rookie Letterman, love that card. One of my favorites. My goal is to find the other 6. hoping
Oh,
to have hoping to have all those. Another one, another on card.
woo.
Randall Cobb's
Oh,
rookie.
man.
So this was gifted to me by I don't know if you subscribe to him, but Flipped It. Um, he opened up a collectible card club, and this card was pulled, and
Wow.
he sent it to me.
That is
And
impressive.
that I mean, just look at that. I mean, one of the Bs, and I think this is it's weird. It's out of 200, but it's
Oh,
a
wow.
patch auto. I mean,
They
it's
cut
a
up all of Randall's jerseys from that season and put
ex-
them out there.
exactly. Um, one of the best character running backs we've ever had on our team was Jamal Williams,
Hmm.
and I got this guy, this cat patch autograph.
He was great. I mean,
Yeah.
he loved being a Packer. I think if they didn't have just so many guys at that time, he would have stayed
Oh yeah.
and been very, very happy as a Green Bay Packer for life.
Look at you. You even chose Jamal Williams on there.
I got a Jamal Williams right here, so I'm gonna put this one to the side, just show it now as you've got that one
Yeah.
there. But he
And
was great.
I mentioned Eddie Lacy, right? So
Hmm.
here's here's an Eddie Lacy rookie
Oh
patch
man,
auto, and I think that number's out of 99. Love that one.
yeah, he was
Um,
great.
um, you'll like this one. Rashawn Gary auto out of
I've
Optic.
got I've got that same one here somewhere.
Oh, do
I
you?
was gonna show it. I've got that same one somewhere here.
I love Rashawn Gary. Great player. Um, here we go. On card, Jordy Nelson.
Oh, I don't have a Jordy Nelson autograph. I've been wanting. I kind of go in stages where like nothing's coming out, so I
Yeah,
start looking for cards that I really want, which I should probably do more of anyways.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good.
here is, um, yeah, Craig, you're right. Eddie was a load to tackle. You, that's why he made my list because we've not had a power runner in so long. Uh, you could probably think that Jacobs could be in that list, but Jacobs, like, he runs thin. He goes in between freaking
Hmm.
defenders and all right. I love this card for the fact that of the camo on the edges. Charles
Okay,
Woodson,
yeah.
Topps Chrome, and obviously that's numbered out of 499. But I think Topps Chrome did it well with these camo patterns,
Hmm.
especially for guys like me who's into all that. Um, all right, you've seen this pulled, but oh,
There we
that
go.
that Aaron
That's
Rodgers downtown.
I am hoping for a Jordan Love one here
Woo! Me too.
shortly.
Actually,
That is
um,
beautiful.
you saw those Costco boxes?
Yes.
Um, uh, there's a channel, Brian Hville Cards, pulled a Jordan Love and the big one, and he
Oh,
sent
okay.
it. He sent it to me.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, so it's on its way here, and then one
Now
of
someone's slabbing those, I guess. You can get slabbed if you want to.
apparently so. Like my son wants it like hung up on his room, so I'm gonna buy a frame and put it in
Okay.
and hang up in his room because we have Packer stuff everywhere. Jordan
Oh,
Love.
nice.
Yeah, and this is actually Thurston for Hits. He sent this to us as a
I
gift.
do remember that. Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite cards there. Um, I actually have I don't have a Rogers auto yet. I'm hoping to find one. But I have two mini helmets and a full size Brett Favre autographed helmets
Oh,
that I
really?
got.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's impressive. That
And
is very
one of my
impressive.
favorite cards, and we talked about this guy. You did, and he's in your lineup. But the Paul
Oh, that
Horning,
wow. That is beautiful.
yes, and sweet spot signatures. I think they did these what they did these
Man, yeah,
perfectly. I
those are
have
great cards. I mean, we need some of those to come back. Those are
oh,
beautiful.
absolutely. So those are my 10 cards. I mean, what do you think? You like them? Pretty
Oh, I
cool.
love all of them. I mean,
Yeah,
you're probably like me where I've got 100 cards here. I'm only gonna show about 10, but you probably
yeah.
had a bunch more. Yeah, those are awesome. So, man, I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat those. But there's no need to
Yeah.
beat anything around here, that's for sure.
Nope, nope, nope. We just need to
So
beat the Bears.
that's right, that's right. So just like you,
Mhm.
um, I am looking. Well, no, you have Jordan Love. I do want to get a Love autograph. Now, when he was
Pastor
still a
Craig, thank you so
backup,
much. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
go Pack Go as well.
Go Pack Go. Yep.
My youngest son was like, we should get some Love autographs. And the market was down, and we still had Roger. I think when Rogers had COVID or the toenail or like whatever he had, and like they were like, I would say pretty like cheap, but they were pretty cheap. And I should jump down them, but this is one of my favorite Love rookies right
Oh
there, just
yeah.
from the Clearly.
Yep.
So we kind of missed the boat on getting in early with those, but we'll get one eventually because we just talk more about like buying the cars we want instead of all the packs.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's just, I mean, it is fun to open packs and all, but all right. So next up here, this was one of my, this could count for one, maybe, I guess. The series that Tops did for the Super Bowls.
Oh yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a mini with Paul Horning and then one for Aaron Rodgers. And
Oh
I just
wow.
wish, I mean, I am looking forward to Tops doing cards. Hopefully they're not going to like outprice the market for everyone, but
Right.
they had some great football cards and these minis were like huge. I just got them all over here, like all over the place. All right, next up here, I really liked this canvas series that Upper Deck did with Brett Favre. So just one with him and the
Oh
teammates,
yeah. Yep. Love
and
that.
then this one is just him,
Okay.
and then him and Paul Horning.
I love it. Yeah. Those
Just
canvases,
like
like the artistry on that is just
I know
is
they're just like they have like the real print of these somewhere, like would be really nice to have. But I just love those like canvas cards you can get sometimes.
mhm.
Alrighty, another little mini series here were these Brett Favre, the heroes from Upper Deck.
Yep. Mhm.
So we got, I was run through them all quickly here.
Yes.
What's up? What's up?
Did you see the blocked field goal?
I know. What all
Bears
your
are trash.
yeah? Graham just came in. He was at his buddy's house watching and said the Bears were trash. So
Bears
we
played a
raised them right
freaking
around
heck
here.
of a
You
game.
too.
They played
You
a great
too.
game though.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. I'm starting to slowly but surely get into a little bit of vintage. So I've
Oh yeah.
got this. I think it's the 67. Or is it 66? 67, I think.
60.
Bart
Yep.
Starr.
Yep.
So I'm gonna
Yep.
kind of this winter kind of delve in a little bit. And I mean, you could go online and buy whatever you want to, but kind of, I mean, this one's got really crisp corners and everything. So think about maybe doing like a player run of certain players, and Bart Starr definitely would be one of
Are you
those.
wanting to like grade that one or are you just wanting to hold on to it?
You know what? I feel like just to hold on to them, probably. I mean, you could grade them and it comes
Yeah.
back, like a 5 or a 6, something like that. But like the grade is not all that important. Sometimes I may like graded cards just for like display, sort of kind of nice and neat. And if they fall, nothing's gonna happen to them or whatever. But I think just to have for now.
Right. I
So
agree. I agree.
and I don't know if you were working on these, but these Favre, the Flight to 420
Yeah.
cards,
Yep.
I've got a bunch of these, and I've definitely got a bunch more to go, but that's definitely in there. All right, let's do here we go. And this is a simple card, and I'm going to send this one to you. You did mention, but I just love this card of Favre.
Oh, man, I love that card. I remember that game.
Yep. And just, like being the ultimate teammate, ABC. How you doing, buddy?
ABC.
Um, I don't know. And just, for a military person, carrying someone like that, like it just seems right for a card for you. So I'm
Yeah.
putting that in the box that I have for you
Oh,
guys.
that if you're sending that to me, that's not going anywhere else. I'm not giving that to a kid. That sucker's staying in
Well,
my
that's why I say,
file.
I'm not going to do the 2 for 22 with that one. So no, there'll be some cards in there for you as well. All right, so
Sure.
I've got here just a couple Geordies. Again, like Topps Finest back in the day, numbered Jordy Nelson.
Oh, wow.
Got another one there. Got this patch, Jordy
Wow.
Nelson. All right. Was that about 6 I've showed you probably, I think?
Oh,
Maybe, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Dude,
All
I
right,
I
and
don't care
then
how many you show me. I think it's fun.
all right, one more. I got a few Devontaes. I'm gonna show just the one. This again, they were running wild with these minis, but I never knew why didn't they just give the players numbers? Whenever
Yeah,
they had rookies, they're all just double zeros. But I love this Devontae Adams. I have a
yeah.
turkey red somewhere that's numbered, and I've always liked that one as well. But here's Favre on the mini tops chrome, the
Oh my
regular
gosh.
card
Yep.
right there. All right, so what haven't we seen here so far? All right, couple autographs. Dorothy Levens. I feel like no, he just always ran hard and not a super long career as a Packer, but
Yeah. Did you
he was
pull
a
that one
beast
out of
for
a
a while.
pack? Did you pull that one out
I
of a
did.
pack? Yeah, I
I
remember
did.
that.
So I was on a run for a while, and then the next one right here is Antonio Freeman.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And again, like I wanted to put him on my list, but like who do you take off? And I always remember the time where Holmgren's yelling at Favre, "You broke Freeman's arm for throwing the ball in tight coverage." I'm on
Oh, I
green.
yes, 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 yes.
And then this could be the last one I show, and this is probably one of my favorites, but Donald Driver, quickie. I mean, autograph right there. Just a
Yeah.
Green Bay Packer. There are certain guys that, he probably could have played another year or two somewhere else, but it's like, if I can't be a Packer, like, I don't
What
want to
what
play
what's the
football. And
point, right? It's
yeah,
like, yeah, it was definitely, that's why he's on the top of my list. Like, Donald Driver was just, I had a subscriber ask me, "Who's your favorite player of all time?" And Donald Driver is that guy. Like, he
mhm.
was just he just no like, I'm looking forward to his I believe his son, Christian Driver, plays for Penn State, I think.
Oh,
I
really?
wanna say. Yeah, I think his son plays
Okay.
football for Penn State, and I think, I'm looking forward to, I like to look at, Brendan Rice,
Right, right. Yeah.
Jerry Rice's kid,
I
give him
knew
a
Jerry
couple years.
Rice's kid, but I know Donald Driver's. Okay.
Mhm. Christian Driver, yeah, get a chance and Google him up. I think he plays for Penn State. I'm trying to remember. I like to follow, but I like to see, you're getting up there in age when you're fans of players have kids who's
Mhm.
ready to play football. So,
Right. That's
um,
true. That's true.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of like Sterling Sharp, but this was one of my favorite Sterling Sharp cards.
Oh, that one is great. I've got a rookie of his. I've heard
Yeah.
that he's starting to like TTM again. So I'm gonna send this one off pretty soon to him. But
Yeah, I got a couple of those rookie Sterling Sharps that I might just, tell you what, you send yours in. If it works, let me know. And then
okay,
I'll
sounds
tell
good.
you if Tucker Craft works, and then that way we have that happening. So
Handshake
um
deal. Sounds good.
yeah, I wanted to I got a funny story to tell you. Okay, a funny story to tell you. Actually,
Let's hear it.
two things I want to talk about that one of them pertains to PTSD and cards that I'll get into shortly. But the other one is the funny story. So we all know that Mike Holmgren won a Super Bowl with Brett Favre, and then shortly thereafter, Mike Sherman took over the reins as head coach, and then Mike McCarthy. There's this trend with Mike's happening, right?
Right,
And
right.
when they fired Mike McCarthy, and I remember the game they fired Mike McCarthy, and I remember telling my wife because we were playing. Uh, I forget who we were playing, but I remember telling my wife, I said, "That's it. You know what? They're on this line of Mikes, and I'm a coach, and I have the resume, and I played Madden football, and I've taken the Packers to the Super Bowl. So, babe, I'm gonna apply to become the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and my resume speak. I mean, they're already on a roll with Mikes. So,
Right. Yeah. I
um,
mean, it fits.
so remember they actually were when they interviewed Matt LaFleur and they liked him, and I was like, JMR Clips 56. Hey Judah, how are you, buddy?
How you doing?
He's my football player.
Okay, there we go.
He's a seventh grader, and we call him AKA the Beast. He freaking blows up the offensive line and plays some
That's what we like to
O
hear.
line
Thanks for
for
coming
us
in,
too.
Beast.
Yeah, the Beast. Actually, he competed in the fantasy trivia last week. Speaking of which,
Okay,
Lions Luck won that. Lions Luck won that, but he asked me to give the cards to Judah. So Judah, I'm gonna come see you
there you
soon
go.
and drop those cards off to you. So
Awesome.
um, yeah, so, anyways, um, so I applied and was like, I'm hoping to get that interview because I think I'll land it. Like, I mean, but they chose Matt LaFleur, which was a very wise decision. Um, yeah,
We don't
Judah,
know
I'm gonna
though.
get you those. Yeah, you
I mean,
just never
maybe he
know.
would have led us
But
to a Super Bowl by now.
hey man, back when they had the game NFL head coach, I was coaching the Green Bay Packers, and I took us to the Super Bowl and won. So it's like, come on, I mean, I've won so many Super Bowls with Green Bay. I can do this. I can. But anyways, I mean, I just have fun with it. Charger fan, yeah. I'm a Justin Herbert fan. Their S backs edits, or I hope I said that right. But yeah, I'm a Justin Herbert fan. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. So anybody that's a Duck, I'm gonna follow them through. But oh look, we got Pastor Ken now.
Pastor Ken,
Pastor
how are you doing,
Ken
buddy?
Balls. So all right, so I want to talk. You like that story? I could have been your next
That was pretty
head
good.
coach
The
for
next
the
Mike,
Green
I
Bay
like that.
Packers. It's
Hey,
like
if Ray Rhodes got a chance, I don't know why you shouldn't get a chance.
right, exactly, right? I mean, but here's the thing. I would have been way too good for Green Bay. Like I'd been solid. We'd been the next like Patriots dynasty and like outdo it. I just didn't want the publicity. I didn't want it, so I just had to
Yeah, I
let
mean,
it
there's a
go.
lot that goes along with that. That's true. And the kids need you anyway. So you
Yeah.
made the right choice.
So here's the other thing that and we talked about. I have the thing about PTSD, and I want to show you a visual. Like you're a teacher, you like to show visual aids,
Sure,
right? Like to
sure.
to the second grade teacher, right? So you
Second grade, yeah, second grade.
yeah. Personally, like working with kids, I like to break things down Barney style to them,
Mhm.
and so I'm gonna show you a little thing here that I like to I share everybody. Um, you know, so I have here three separate cards, okay? Uh three different styles of cards. Okay, so I have one unsleeved, okay? I have one penny sleeved and in a top loader, and then I have one encased. Okay. So when we deal with PTSD, or when we deal with just life in general. Um, as a military guy, I'm always on guard. I'm always presenting like I want to try to protect everything that's around me. But if I were to take this card, let's say in the Oregon weather right now, it's raining. If I were to walk outside right now and in the rain, this card will get wet, right? And
Mhm,
it will become wet. It won't grade well if I were to send it to grade.
mhm.
As as a veteran who suffers from PTSD, if I don't protect myself right now, and if I don't protect my mind right now, I'm gonna walk out in that rain and I'm gonna get soaked and I'm not gonna be serviceable. I'm not gonna be worthwhile to look at. So we must put ourselves in a protective sleeve and then top load. Now, this top load, well, just like it says, it's top loaded, right?
Right.
There's a seam, there's an opening. Something can still go in there, right? So um I was like, as a person with PTSD, is like, if you don't, and how should I say this? If I don't um prepare myself for daily life struggles, and I've allowed something to just get me, allow something to just trigger me, I could potentially still be damaged. Lions Luck sent me some cards not too long ago, and they were all top loaded. They still became damaged within the process. So, not having it protected, having it somewhat protective, not completely protected, can still trigger PTSD, still trigger the stresses of life. Now, I prefer to fully encase myself and making sure that there's nothing going to try to hinder me with daily life struggles. Now, it'll happen, but if I were to drop this, if I were to toss this, the only way to open one of these big old cases to really some big force. So, I teach my kids that, yeah, cards are great, cards look great, but if you don't protect them 100%, they will not be worth anything. Okay. Now, I love each one of these cards. I mean, does that make sense to you, teacher? I
It
mean,
does. Yes. Yes.
so like I like to teach PTSD as cards. This is a great looking card, but if we don't protect it, or if we don't fully
Mhm.
engulf it or encase it, it will still get ruined. You will still be dealing with life stresses and may take you down. And that's why it was so
Right.
important when I in Memorial Day, where I started the 2 for 22, because I was looking at my cards and I was like, man, I've got to. This is important. Like this is important to think that if we don't protect ourselves from life stresses or I, like when you deal with stresses, you can probably handle it. But when I deal with stresses, it becomes chaotic. It becomes like a war. So
Sure. Sure.
I have to like encase myself to protect myself from those stresses. Now, how to handle those stresses is just simple, you know, I call it uh I'm looking for the word. Gosh, I'm stumbled ground myself. I have to ground myself. I have like, right now I'm sitting in my son's room. I'm sitting on a desk or not sitting in a chair. I'm feeling a desk. I don't feel Iraq. I don't feel the desert. I don't feel like I'm some
Right.
so I have to ground myself and then mentally I have to go through here and I have to like, okay, I was angry today, but anger is a feeling that we're all given. So let's let that like leaves on a stream. Every
Right.
time I get angry, I watch the leaf fall on a stream and it flows away. The anger's gone. So I have to constantly be doing that. But the only way to do it is I have to fully encase myself into it so I can help myself going forward. So it takes a lot of work to kids with guys with PTSD to get
Oh,
through
for
this stuff.
sure. And that was well said and a good explanation that you can really understand.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, so it was really good, and that's why I look forward to the football season. I mean, I watching your videos, and you're fully into sports year round, and like watching your videos, I'm starting slowly getting into baseball. I'm getting into like basketball, and but
I'll
man,
send you
being
some
a
Cubs cards. You'll be all set for life.
you're trying to win me over into Cubs, right?
Yeah.
So, um, and a lot of people ask me, and I don't know if people know this, but a lot of people ask me, is what makes you live in Oregon? What makes you become a Packer fan? And I was like, well, I played for the Packers. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I played for him. I was the tight end, and I did really well. We played the Vikings in the Super Bowls, but you can't play the Vikings in the Super Bowl. I mean, you can when you're 9 years old, buddy. You can when you're 9 years old, so,
'Cause I
uh
remember you said that in one of my in like comment of my video. I played for the Packers, so I was like, and like once I got your name, okay, I was like googling to see what and everything, and yeah, a lot of backyard stuff, and that's
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like those days we had just being with our buddies out in the backyard of the park were a lot of good times that kids always don't do anymore.
Yeah, yeah, they don't, and it's like, my son does, like, every chance he
Hmm.
gets, he
Hmm.
goes out and plays football with the kids.
Yeah.
He gets a bunch of his friends and he goes, and that's why I'm so proud of, like, being
Hmm.
a father to my kids. Because like, my daughter actually, hey, chat, I want you to say congrats to my daughter. She's the lead role in Nutcracker. She is
Oh,
ballet, and
nice.
she's lead
Awesome.
role in Nutcracker, so, give her a huge shout out and thank you, hopefully
Congratulations.
but, and then my son, I asked him what he's doing in the off season, from football. He goes, I can't talk like kids nowadays. He goes, "Dad, I'm going into my winter arc." I'm like, "You're going into your what? Are you going to hibernate right now? What are you talking about?" Because I'm going into my winter arc. I'm like, "What does that even mean?" He goes like, "I'm gonna be prepared to get ready for next year." I'm like, "Okay, that's better." And he goes, "I'm gonna
Training
go to the
stuff, yeah.
gym. I'm gonna work out. I'm not gonna be stuck playing video games because
Right, yeah.
it gets caught." I'm like, "You know what? That's what I want to hear. That's what I want
And
to
I will
hear."
say, like, both my boys, they are outside a lot. We really only play like a little bit of Madden during like winter break. We'll play a little bit, but they're both like outdoor kids. Graham was at his buddy's house. They're watching the game, playing football outside. Jax was fishing with his friends, and Jax is always he has some like ADHD and just forgetful about things. So he did not put the clip on this popcorn thing. So my wife went to go open the drawer. All the popcorn fell all over the place.
Oh,
So she like called Jax on his watch phone or whatever. He had to come back home. He had to get all cleaned up. And when he came, there's like a little, it's like a stream, a creek, little ponds by us. They're always fishing out there. And just when you saw him, you wouldn't think that he had a home. I mean,
mm,
he's all dirty. Things that got holes on him. He's just got like sticks in his hands, but they're like there's like being kids out there, and that's good to see still.
yeah, yeah. So, do you have, like, handy near you any other Packer memorabilia that I saw the car that
You know
you
what?
showed.
I have the car right here still. I've got mostly Cubs things in
Oh,
this room here. So I got the car. I will next time that we're on, I
yeah.
have this pretty sweet beer sign from the Favre Super Bowl, and
Oh, yes.
it's in my workroom. I will take that off, and I've been looking for the same one for Rogers Super Bowl, and every once in a while I'll find one on like eBay,
Yeah,
and I was get like outbid. They're just
yeah,
like and I forget what
yeah.
kind of like beers. It's not even like a Wisconsin beer. It's just weird, but like every once in a while they'll go out there. So I want to get the one. It has like the full schedule and scores for every game of that season with the regular
Mhm.
season and in the playoffs. So I will have to bring some of that stuff in next time.
I I actually, and I don't have it, I was looking for it, but Super Bowl 45, they created those Pepsi bottles
Oh,
with,
okay.
the Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have that
Oh, really?
still sealed, and, I have that somewhere, that, I was gonna show, but I gotta find it, but I'll show you because like, I turned my son's room, and he wanted a Packer Haven, so,
I like
uh
that idea.
yeah, I'll show you what we got, so, obviously, that's his wall there.
Oh,
uh
nice.
Yeah, we wanted to feel that Jordan Love downtown up there, but here's the signed mini helmets. Um, so
Oh,
Paul
nice.
Hornung,
Paul Horning. Oh, beautiful.
James Jones,
I had a James
There.
Jones autograph over here for a little while. I always like watching an NFL show because no matter what
Oh,
ridiculous people will talk, James Jones will always stick up for the Packers. So
yep. Lynn Dickey. Um,
okay,
this one, I don't know if you know who this is. He was a short stint with Green Bay, but Abdul Hodge, he was a
I do,
linebacker.
I do,
Yep.
yes.
Brett Favre times two,
Oh man, that's beautiful.
right there. Um, this the big helmet, Brett Favre. I
Oh man,
actually
it's awesome.
have this right here. Um, it's still I'm getting a case for it, but this is the year I went to. If you look right there, that is Mark Murphy's autograph.
Oh, okay, so the
I actually got
shareholder meeting. Okay.
yep, yep, got to talk to him, and then I have all that back there. I have Ray Nitsky
Oh wow.
there. I got Clay Matthews, Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre starting lineup. Brett Favre there too. I have a um somewhere. What did my son do with it? I don't know. He did somewhere. I have a starting lineup of Vince Lombardi as well. So
Oh really? Oh, that would be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that was awesome. But like eventually, like my son has like 3 more years of being in my house before he gets a full ride scholarship somewhere. And then when he
Mhm.
gets kicked out of my house to go somewhere, this whole room's going to be mine, and it's going to be my little man cave. So
Sounds like you're
um,
counting down the days there.
well, I'm counting down the days to like, my son. We homeschooled for the last since COVID,
Okay,
and
sure.
but I wanted him to experience high school, and
Right, right.
and then to test to see how well he does in high school. And he's a 4.0 GPA right now,
Oh, good for him. Awesome.
um, and hustle and bustle, and I mean, like, he does a lot of good things.
So where is he
Uh,
looking for college?
Well, he was talking to me. He's like really interested in Southern California. Um, but I know he's got a few colleges looking at him right now. Because
Okay.
we send a lot of his videos now. He didn't start
Right.
every game this year. He did play backup, but as a freshman, kind of tried like, feel like Jordan Love. You can go in first time just to get a feel for the
Right,
program.
yeah.
And what college is looking at you?
No, no, there's nothing but now. There's still a backup.
No, no, what colleges are following you right now?
I don't know.
What about say?
I don't know. Just call my name.
Okay.
Buffalo's on top, 13-7.
13-7 Buffalo Bills over the Chiefs. Sweet.
Oh, the referees will get involved here pretty soon, I think, maybe. I don't know.
He actually so Oregon State University, um,
Okay.
likes him right now, based off his grades. I had a dream that he was gonna go to, all right, I'll see you soon, bud. I'll drop those cards off to you. Um, I had a dream that he'll be going to Wisconsin, um,
Okay. All right.
become a Badger. So I'm like, maybe this will be the excuse to get me to move to Wisconsin.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
We can meet
you
up then
know,
and do some pre and post game work over there.
well,
I mean,
that's get me on the staff as a volunteer with the Green Bay Packers, or the Wisconsin Badgers, and I'll help those kids, man. I'm telling you. Um, uh, what is that? My pleasure. Trying to get you to 12,000 Donnies.
oh, I
I don't know
think
what that is.
Bart was sending Justin some Don Mattingly cards.
Oh, gotcha. I need to look for those. I think I have some Don Mattingly cards. I gotta see what I have. But yeah, I think whatever the case is, both my kids will be successful and they'll do
It sure
amazing.
sounds like it. It definitely
Yeah,
sounds like it.
yeah, having but yeah, so the game was freaking nail biter, right? I
It
mean,
was.
gosh, I was like, so I wrote down a few things. The first drive, Packers had the ball. The first thing I wrote down, Josh Jacobs, man, that boy can make cuts. He can cut on a
Yes.
dime. Like,
Yes.
I thought that was crazy. Um, and then Liam said he loves Emmanuel Wilson, and that first drive, having Wilson there too, I mean, it's like, wow, it was great. And then, towards the end there on our touchdown, vintage Aaron Rodgers, 12 man on the field, caught him.
Yeah, yeah, they and pulled him off sides the one time as well. I mean, he was really doing it, and you could almost tell because at the end of the game, or no, it was whenever the Bears had the ball, and you
Yeah,
were pretty much sure they weren't going to snap it. But a lot of those guys on defense for the Packers are barking out like, "Don't do it, lay back," and really aware of the situation. Where I feel like the Bears, when he got him earlier, is probably in the second quarter. I think, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you could tell that if he could just get that right cadence to him, that they were going to jump off sides, and sure enough, they did.
Yeah, and Liam, like, we sat there and saw that, first typically, if we score first, we're winning the game. That's just
Mhm.
how it is for Packers, and we caught him 12 men on the field, and Jordan Love striked it to Jaden Reed, and my son said, "Dad, you know what that was?" I was like, "What was it?" He goes, "What a read."
That's a good one.
He pulled a pun on me. Like,
That is a good one.
that was a good pun. So I wrote down "What a read," REED,
Ah.
quotation marks. That was awesome. Um So we traded Preston Smith for just a 7th round
Mhm.
pick,
Yep.
and, like, who's gonna step up and play for Preston Smith? And Brenton Cox on the first drive for defense, what a
Mhm.
tackle for loss, untouched.
I have his
Right.
name on here because I was kind of interested on that as well. And I mean, he's barely played at all, but he had an impact for sure in the first half. And so
Yeah.
my notes kind of stopped at the interception. At that point, I gotta what's going on here kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I was impressed by him also.
Yeah, Brenton and then, Brenton Cox came in untouched and sacked Caleb Williams.
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah, two great tackles for loss.
Yep.
I wrote down our second drive, Tucker Kraft, what a block he had. Like,
Hmm.
Tucker Kraft is just he's physical, and that's what you need from a tight end. You need a tight end who can block, who can catch, and he
And
just
catch.
did.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, then then we were on defense, and this is where I took a lot of my notes. Uh, Edgerrin Cooper, I think he's going to be a stud. When he's
I
out
do.
there
I
playing.
like the kid as well. Yeah, he looks good out there.
He brushed off a block to get Caleb Williams only for a few yards, and the way he was been running was crazy. Bears had, like, 2 illegal motions back to back, on there. And then what was the deal with that? Like, Xavier McKinney, a personal foul. Like, it's not like he was targeting him or anything. Like, it was like, "You gotta be kidding me."
And I think Tom Brady even said, like, because it was the quarterback, then it gets whistled. If it was, the running back, Swift, no big deal. But, and I feel like, sometimes these sidelines, because there was maybe like something, and it might have been with Swift, and
Mhm.
it wasn't anything extra, wasn't anything hard, but, the Bears were calling for something. So I feel like once Caleb Williams went over there and like it was gentle nudge that he was getting the flag. Just one of those things I
Yep.
feel like. But I feel like
Yep.
the Packers should have when the Bears had those two penalties kind of in a row or 2 out of 3 pages or downs. You got to just end the drive there, and they did get a first
Right.
down I think during that time. And we were kind of chatting back before. You got to stop the run. I mean, Williams was just using his wheels to get free, and
I
this
think he had,
game
like,
could
60 yards run, and then
at
we
halftime.
allowed yeah, and then we had, like, DeAndre Swift on that 37-yard scamper for a touchdown, and,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I really thought, like, but we were talking, we were like, "Dude, they definitely have to just stop the run." That was just, like, it somehow they needed to have a quarterback spy to just watch Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Hey, Triple Lick X Cards and stuff, how are you?
Are you doing?
Thanks for coming on. The, Highlight for me, though, I think Jacobs, the way he was running today and the way he caught the ball and yards after the catch, like, in one of the fantasy leagues, he scored me 29 points. I mean,
Mhm.
phenomenal player. I thought with the loss of Aaron Jones, like, who's gonna step in? I think we did a good job by
Right.
getting Jacobs, and, yeah, I mean, I love Aaron Jones, he's gonna be missed, but, like, Jacobs is playing some good ball lately.
He is, and I think today was the first time that he was totally healthy playing. That 2 weeks off really helped him. But I feel like as much as I love Aaron Jones, getting a running back that's 4 years younger is super important. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know if people realize that, there's a big difference in age there, but
yeah,
getting some fresh legs
yeah.
in there is important. And I mean, I really like AJ Dillon. So I think he'll be back next year, right?
Yeah, he'll be back. Well, he's only his contract is basically comes down to 1 year.
That's
So,
what I thought, right? And I mean, it'd
technically,
be hard
he's
to go somewhere else off an injury, but
yeah, and actually to surprise you, I follow, AJ Dillon, he does card breaks and stuff, Dillon's
I
Deals,
I have
um,
seen. I've never done them before, but I'll see him go on
and
whatever it is. And
he actually has a channel too on YouTube where he just does a lot of gaming on his off time.
okay.
But him and I had several conversations, basically him chatting to me while I'm responding back
Oh,
to
really?
him and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting. I have to tell about it. He definitely is a really good dude, and he actually was setting up his room for breaks, and he was asking, "Hey, Hammy, tell me where should I put this table?" And he was having a so I'd
Oh,
like
really? Oh,
I'd
man.
actually, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. He said, question. So, seeing Rodgers struggle with the Jets, are you glad Green Bay moved on? Yeah, I mean, I honestly think, personally, I think Rodgers after this year needs to decide to go ahead and hang it up because, like,
Yeah.
you can tell I mean, he's hurting out there. I thought Jets has a great line, but he's not as mobile as he used to be. He's off target a lot. He's still a heck of a football player, but I do feel we did right by letting Rodgers go and moving on and seeing Love what he can do. And I'm pretty impressed with Jordan Love. Yeah, he may have 11 interceptions on the season, but I think you know he's trying, and he's got great receivers that can help him out. I mean, we saw it
Right.
today with that Christian Watson pass, in between 2 defenders and still caught the ball. That was Jordan Love
Yeah.
trusting his receiver, um, and I think that's what a lot of game plays missed by that, these guys get paid for a reason, so get the ball out there, give them an opportunity, and that's what we saw today in Watson and
For
in
sure.
Love.
And what a difficult move to move on from Aaron Rodgers. And, I was on the boat where, Rodgers probably has still maybe 2 more years left to go. Like, at least we will know we maybe have a chance to do something with
Yeah.
him. With Love,
Yep.
it was unknown what you had. But, Brian Gutekunst, he makes some moves and stands by him, and most of them work out. So I
Mhm.
am definitely glad that we moved on.
Yeah, Goody does a good job. He does a good job managing that football team. I think he does amazing. I think this is Mark Murphy's last year
I think it is, yes.
as president. So to see, I forget who they pinpointed, but I'd like to see what happens going forward. Um,
Mhm.
but Mark Murphy signs a ton of TTM, by the way. So if you have Mark Murphy
And I
cards,
have heard that,
send it.
yes. I need to do him as well while we still know where he lives.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, uh, yeah. So I mean, the nail biter at the end. I mean, there were back to back challenges, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and I was like, the back to back challenges that left like one timeout for both teams, and I was like, this could actually be a good thing, And if we can just make the move, like, hats off to Jordan Love. Like the last 2 drives, like he threw
Mhm.
that ball
Yep.
deep down there,
Oh, yeah.
and then that catch by Watson for a
Oh, that
60-yard
was
scamper.
unreal. It was a
Woo!
beautiful catch. So I
Uh,
was sitting on the couch next to my wife,
Yeah.
And I told her yesterday, what I was doing today with you. And she was like, "Well, what are you guys going to talk about if they lose?" I'm like, "I don't know what we're going to talk about if we lose. Let's not talk negative. We're going to block this thing."
I had a
And
box of Kleenex ready. I had a box of Kleenex ready. So,
yeah, we were going to support each other. There was going to be a real
yeah,
support group here.
yeah,
And
yeah. And that last defensive drive that we had back-to-back sacks where Rashawn Gary got that sack,
yep,
Brenton
yep.
Cox. Like, I was like, "Dude, this is what you love to see." And then, obviously, the missed field goal. Luke, I was like, 20-19. My heart can just settle down.
Mhm.
And then I think the real issue was trying to get you onto YouTube at the same that was the
Right. Yeah.
real issue.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like, "Dude,
Exactly.
what is going on here? I'm about to choke this thing." So,
And
I think in the future, I'm going to, figure out how to do the StreamYard thing, and we can get that rolling, make it a little
I
bit
mean,
more
this worked
easier.
out fine. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
I
yeah,
just never done it this way. It totally worked out fine. And I wanted to ask you,
sure.
definitely going for two when the Packers scored. But what play would you call? I always hate when they run the ball when they go for two. I don't know. I like rolling out, finding a tight end. Um,
The way that Jacobs was playing, I woulda called the same play that they did.
okay,
I mean, Jacobs was running thin. I mean, like, he was running in between his guards, and tackles and even passing up the D line, like, so, like, I told him, I was like, "Just if you're gonna go for 2, give it to Jacobs. Give it to Jacobs to get
okay,
in between."
okay.
Um, and actually, you know, when we look at as a coach, when I look at the field, if if I see my offense playing on the left hash mark,
Hmm.
um, so it so the smallest of the field we call a boundary side, and
Right.
then the largest of the field is the field side.
Hmm.
So when I was looking at their defense, watching them, I was like, "Hey, run it on to run it to the left," because they had nobody out there.
No one over there. Okay.
Nobody over there, and I was like, "Run it and just give it to Jacobs, either getting out there on a little toss or just hand it and have him run to the
And
left,"
outrun it.
which and outrun him, but, this is the NFL. I mean, the players on
Oh
offense and
yeah.
defense, they play ball, they see
Right.
film, and, they just had the defense did a better job, but I definitely thought they made the right play call, personally, so,
I
um,
agree
you
now.
know
I agree.
yeah, I think they did a good job. You know, I think they were just too close to the end zone to do a pass. I'm glad they did the love shove today.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That I have that love shove. Jordan Love runs short of end zone Green Bay challenges, whether it was a touchdown or not. And then right after, I said, if it doesn't go, do the love shove. And I question, and then sure enough, they did it. It was a touchdown. It's like, see
Yep.
that freaking worked.
It worked.
So I told you, man, I could be an NFL head coach. I could do this. So the next time, I'm gonna tell Green Bay to revert back to the mics and
You
get.
just got to get on staff, maybe, kind of be the whisperer to the floor in case he needs it in some situations.
I was like, I'll just tell Liam to take the scholarship to Wisconsin, and then get myself in there, and I'll put my foot in the door. So
Right. There you go. It's all
uh,
you need is a foot in the door.
that's it. I think. But we for the next few weeks, I mean, we got San Francisco coming to our home next week.
Mhm.
Weather, I don't know, what is it like out there right now?
It's like nice fall weather. It is.
Okay.
It's not cold. It's overcast. Really, the wind is dead. So, like for me, the biggest thing is the wind this time of year. Rain, cold, snow. I feel like for the most part, like those guys are just fine. But it's the passing game that gets affected so much by the wind. So,
Yeah.
if the wind is fine, I like our chances as always.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's absolute. Uh, and then, I mean, 49ers not playing the way they
No,
have been last couple of years. So, I know they lost Brandon Ayuk. I know, Devo's been injured. Christian McCaffrey's been injured. He should be playing today, obviously, and but Jawan
I'm
Jennings,
looking now.
who
Yeah,
was
it's 7-6 at halftime, 49ers. So yeah, they're
oh yeah, they're
but
playing pretty rough. So
but don't bet against Geno Smith, that's for sure.
No, no, and then we have, the Dolphins on Thanksgiving, right? So
Yes.
that's like, we've had the I think we had the Dolphins before on Thanksgiving before, um, a few years back or something like that, but,
As
um,
long as it's not the Lions. You know, the Lions on Thanksgiving is just dangerous. I don't care how bad the Lions were before. I mean, there
we
were
had Lions last
days
year on Thanksgiving, and we beat them.
it was
Remember?
we did. And I
Uh-huh.
think that Love was out or somebody was out. Like we were totally undermanned, right?
Yeah, we were, and we won by a considerable margin too,
Right,
and,
yes.
um, this is like every time after the bye, whether we lose against the Vikings or the Lions, we usually win afterwards, and
Right. Just get on that
so
roll.
I'm hoping because I think we have the Lions right after the Dolphins, and I'm hoping we win that one or something like that, you know, perhaps, um, but yeah, but anyways, teacher, I gotta get ready for this award ceremony that my son is in. I think this was awesome. I appreciate you coming into
I
doing this.
enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. We'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, we definitely need to we'll converse and see when is another good time. I love the fact that it's usually after a game. Justin, are you jumping on board the Packers? I know you're a Cowboy fan, but are you jumping
Hey,
on board?
baby.
Yeah, did we just convert you into a Packer fan? Like I would love to see this.
Hold on. I got to
So,
get some cards ready for Justin to send them out here and we'll really get them
yeah.
in. You want this
Yeah,
sweatshirt, Justin? I'll send that to you too.
need to watch a team that knows how to win. See,
There we
thank
go.
yes, yes, there you go. Actually,
Justin's a smart guy.
I was talking to a Bills fan. Who is it? High Life Hobby. I don't know if you are
I
High
do,
Life
yes.
Hobby.
Yep.
He obviously lives in the New York area, but he jumped on the bandwagon for the Oregon Ducks. He's a huge
Oh,
Duck
really?
fan now. So yeah, and it's like love that. I would love to just convert the entire nation as a Packer fan and get some real, but true Packer
Just
fans
one
actually.
person at a time. One person at a time is what you got to do.
See, we take it one person at a time, or even one day at a time, and
Yep.
it's a big win. But I appreciate you, Vince. I do appreciate you coming on. Let's get together again. Talk some
Definitely.
more football. I definitely have to go through another 1,000 cards to show some of my hey, 'cause I realized after looking at yours, some of the vintage stuff, I was like, "Dude, I got more vintage stuff I gotta show, man. This is
There you go.
crazy." And,
I look forward to
uh,
that.
I actually, everything that you've done and helped me, with this 2 for 22, I want to share my appreciation. I actually have an extra same Jordy Nelson autograph card that I'm gonna send you. I have the
Oh, no
exact
way.
same.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely, dude.
that's too much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, so you mentioned you needed one.
Oh,
This is the early Christmas gift for you.
oh man.
I will
I I
I
really
will send it to you.
that's too much, but I really appreciate it. That's awesome.
No, it's you have taken this whole uh basically my story and like you've turned it around and made it a big part of how I'm growing and it's my appreciation to you. So I'll get that sent out to you as soon as possible. So just let me know your address again and
Sure, sure,
I'll
definitely,
get it out to
definitely.
you. But that's my gift to you for being a
Thank
fellow
you.
Packer fan. I know you'll treasure it.
I
So
definitely
uh,
will. Yes.
and then obviously, I mean, you're sending me all those cards after this whole thing. The kids are gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love the Favre one where he's fireman carrying him. That
Yep.
one I'm probably gonna post in my backsplash, something like that. So, but I appreciate you. Definitely, let's do this again. We
Yep.
should. So,
I'm all for
yeah.
it. Let's do it.
All right, guys, and thanks for staying on. Those few people on, and we have 14 likes on there, and maybe next time we'll get more. We probably will. So, uh, let's go pack go and see you next time.
Go Pack, go. Enjoy Liam's banquet. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, bud.